Alrighty, well, I'm going to give y'all the down and dirty, quick and greasy inside line on how to bubble balance your own wheels and tires. Why am I doing this? One, because the local tire shop near me that I've been going to for years is closing down, and I can't be bothered to drive 5 miles to the next local tire shop, so we're just going to have to balance our own tires from now on going forward. Two, I've got these all-terrain Pirelli Scorpions I want to put on the truck. Three, the truck is on a 6-lug wheel, and the Pirellis are on a Jeep rim, which is 5-lug. So I've got to change them, and those Pirellis are horribly imbalanced from the factory. Either the Jeep rims were horribly imbalanced, one of the two. Some factory has made them horribly imbalanced. I got like 10 ounces on them. So anyway, I'm going to have to balance them. And like I said, the local tire shop is closed down. So I've been meaning to get all the equipment to do this for a while now. So I'm just going to take this as a sign from on high and accept the kick in the pants to get all this stuff and start doing this in-house. All right, so I got all of my wheel weights in now, so I can go ahead and swap tires and start balancing things. Or actually, what I want to do is pull these tires out and just see if they're balanced. Because I don't know if you can tell, I got all this crap piled on them, but you see down here on this guy, that is a big chonkin weight, I think is the technical term. Yeah, that's a 2.5 ouncer. And there's one on both sides of this thing. And I bought these tires new, brought them to the 4x4 shop when I was getting my differential done, and was just like, just fucking come out and balance these for me. And then when I came out to pick the thing up, and it just had fucking like 5 ounces on like 2 wheels. I'm like, good Lord. Because I know my rims weren't that bad because I didn't have those before. So those Pirellis were really fucking shit balanced coming out of the tire factory. So I want to check to see if they actually are balanced or if the tire shop scammed me. I'm assuming that they're perfectly balanced because they never really felt like they were unbalanced. And all right, so I got one of the Pirellis over here, the one with the big chonker. This isn't the really imbalanced one. The other one had 2 of these, one on each side. As you can tell, I ran this thing with too much air in it, so it's a little worn in the center, but it's going to be better than those god-awful Goodyear Eagles that are on the truck right now. Those things are a centimeter wider, but good Lord, that is just a garbage tire. Don't buy those. They get dry rotten in like 5 years, if that, like 4 years. They're terrible. These things are older than the ones on the truck, and, there's no weather checking. Plus I like all-terrain tires, all right? I'm a simple man. Ain't a mud tire guy. I need my hearing for work, and I'm also not a hyper fuel economy person, but all-terrain tires just do the best. It also, I live off-road, so I need them. Well, I just dropped her on there, and she's pretty damn close to balance. Just a feather. Just might need like a 1/4 inch or something. I still need to vibrate it to make sure it's all centered, but that's pretty damn close, so wow. Pirelli, what the fuck, man? Also, something I forgot to mention. So while I'm over here letting the summer air out, putting the winter air in, these suckers that are on here, one, terrible. Just look at that fucking weather checking. Good God. And they like come from the factory with a bulge in them. And these aren't even like old tires. Well, that one is. That one's from 2015. We ignore that. It's a 9-year-old tire. It's fine. Shit. I didn't realize that. Anyway, ones up on the front are not 9-year-old tires. That's a 16-year-old. That's an 8-year-old tire right there. No wonder they suck. Are they all that old? Oh yeah, that's a 7-year-old tire. Like I am confident we swapped some tires on this thing in like 2020 or 2021. So we got sold some bum fucking ass tires. Like I had started this YouTube channel before I changed like the last 2 or 3 tires on this thing. And I started it in August of 2020. So we got sold some bum fucking tires. Anyway, it's time for them to go. So we'll put some 5-year-old tires on them. But the reason I'm not worried about changing the tire size is it's the factory size. 215, not 255. So these tires are like damn near 2 inches wider than the factory tires. Not quite, 1.75 inches. So yeah, I'm not worried about going down that much on the tire width. Well, I got the wheel weights off with my fancy hammer. Tires have been debeated, and I only bent the debeater on this $40 Harbor Freight tire changer 3 times and had to bend it back and blow out L5 in my back, so that's It's 3 o'clock and I'm already done for the day. Great. But anyway, we'll be able to do that eventually. I don't know if the D-beater is going to last to do the truck though. They're not off-road tires, so I'm hoping it doesn't fight. I have never bent that before, and I've bent it 3 times on 3 of the 4 tires, so that's exciting. All right, time is nigh. We are replacing these stupid tires today, finally, after months of piddling around not doing anything. But we're gonna try today because, good Lord, this thing scares me. And I've got a weird harmonic now at like 40, 45 miles an hour if I'm hauling anything, but just, I don't know. I feel like I'm like one wayward brick in the road from blowing a tire out, so I gotta do something. All right, tires are off. And you know, I've been having some clunking coming from the front end of this truck, and I have absolutely no idea what could be causing that. You know, there's just nothing in this, you know, suspension looks bad at all. You know, everything looks so perfectly fine. I don't know why it could be clunking so much. It's a mystery. I mean, even back here on the back, I just can't find anything at all wrong with the suspension. It's all just as tight as it can be. So no idea. I don't know why it's so bouncy either. I mean, the shocks definitely don't look like they've been on this car for the last 22 years. They've never been replaced. Who knows? It's a mystery. We're gonna de-bead some tires, and thankfully this thing should save my back. And then we have to put the beads back on yonder new old tires and try and figure out if we can balance these, because that is the whole crux of this ordeal, is can I figure out how to balance these tires now that the local tire shop is closed? Who knows? All right, 1 de-beaded and 1 new old tire back on the rim. So that was not all that painful at all. It was actually even that thing fought me, but taking on and off, not a problem, knock on wood. The other 3 don't do anything funny. Forgive me, Sensei. I promised I wouldn't use the forbidden technique. But desperate times call for desperate measures. Because we're getting dangerously close to me having to pay a tire shop $20. Regineku detonation. There we go. 1 set bead. Well, there's all 4 of them, mounted and inflated to 32 psi. Now I get to do that for the old tires on the Jeep rims. Fantastic. It's only taken me like 2.5 hours and my back already hurts. Oh, great. Anyway, now I get to pick all these up and gently place them down on this bubble balancer and figure out whether or not I can balance them or not. Fun. That one might just practically be balanced. Well, it's somewhere between 2.75 and 1 ounce, so do I got a 1.5 somewhere? I should do it. All right, I don't like this thing. It's hard to use, it hurts my back, and it's not very precise. I did it once, took it off, and then the tire was completely fucked up, pulled the weights off, and had to do it in the complete opposite direction of where I had it before. So, don't really understand that. But anyway, I'll just assume it's a break-in period, but currently, seems to be decent enough. The trouble is, it's not a high precision machine, so when it's balanced, it'll kind of just stop in a random position. So you got to do it a half dozen times and just see how it stabilizes, and it's close enough. That's 1 done. All right, so there they all are, balanced, probably. Real test is going to be throwing them in on the truck and seeing how they feel. You may have noticed that I put all the weights on the outside. That's because I'm lazy and because that's how I balance them. And every time I took them off and rebalanced them after I put one on the top and tried to do one on the bottom, it was always messed up. So what I'm trying to say is physics, and I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm going to throw these on the car and hope that they work. And if they don't, then I might take them to a shop. But we at least feel like we balanced tires, and that's all that matters. Was the $80 I spent on that tire balancer and the other $30 I spent on wheel weights worth it, or should I have just paid $80 to a shop to mount and balance the tires rather than wasting half of one of my precious days off changing tires? Well, actually, it's going to be the whole day because I still got to do those. Anyway, let me throw these on the truck. You want to see a trick government doesn't want you to know about? Look at that. No more running the pump to take it off of jack stands. Yeah. Illuminati doesn't want you to know about that. Big Jack wants you to buy an air jack when you can use the old back to pre-jack. Whoo-wee, look at that. That definitely looks like a two-wheel drive truck I can get stuck in the mud because I'm overconfident because I finally put off-road tires on it that are 2/3 of the way bald. Awesome. All in a day's work. Tires are finally on there and they're probably somewhere close to being balanced, and so all I got to do now is, well, I'm going to do the rest of these tires before I take this thing and find out the tires are horribly imbalanced and lose all my motivation to keep working because, yeah. But anyway, they're probably not perfectly balanced, and if that's the case, then, well, I'm probably just going to throw balancing beads in them through the very tedious process of filling it through the valve stem, which is never fun. But, you know, it's better than paying a tire shop $50 and taking half a day off of work to take the thing to the tire shop, or having to fist fight my dad to get him to take the car to the tire shop. But anyway, I digress. Tires are on. Let's deal with these now. There's another secret the government doesn't want you to know about. Just lube up the side of the tire. You actually need to slide over the rim, and don't lube up the rest of the tire that you need to stay on the rim. Because otherwise, if you lube up this side of the tire, as you start pulling this bead over, this one's just going to slide off because you lubricated it. But if you just lube up the side you need to go on, the other side won't slide. And just like that, easy as pie. Also helps that this is probably the easiest tire I've ever put on a rim, and it's even easy to set a bead with, probably because these were on 16x8s. I think I'm putting them on 16x7s. They have not fought me thus far. There you go. Probably only got 8 psi in it. Super easy. Don't even have to use the forbidden technique on these. I can only use that technique 10 times a day. Otherwise, I will shave 20 years off of my life. That's from inhaling all the ether fumes. You know, not from any kind of secret jutsu stuff. All right, let's see. Am I good or am I good? I called it 8 psi. That's super easy for setting a bead. You know, I've had them sometimes where I've got to do like 40 or 45 psi before they set, or, you know, fill them up with ether and set them on fire. All right, there all those things are mounted and balanced for no reason other than now I have an emergency set of Jeep tires in case I become really poor and need to use Jeep tires or run over a spike strip and have to replace all of my tires and need something in the meantime. But anyway, I digress. Now we can finally take the truck for a test drive and see whether or not these Italian tires live up to their name and go whop, 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 or whether they drive true and straight. I am 1/4 Italian. I get to make that joke once every 3 months, and so this is my 3-month quota. But anyway, finally time to see whether or not I wasted half a day. All right, well, we're out here on the highway, so we'll get her up to 60 something and see whether or not it's got any shake. All right, so I mean, a little bit more vibration out of the steering wheel and maybe a touch more noise, but nothing I can really put a finger on. Still drives perfectly straight, still got plenty of whoa, definitely brakes. So I think that's a success. The only other thing I need to check is whether or not she spins out on gravel and dry grass, because that was the big concern before, is this thing just did not have any grip off-road. It was pitiful. And you know, if you hit a little bit of a sandy corner or a little bit of a rough corner, it would just go everywhere. But that's probably the shocks more than anything. So That'll be next on the plate, but I digress. It seems like we were able to bubble balance tires. It was also amazing how none of the tires needed 5 ounces when I did them, so I don't know what the hell the tire shop was doing, but I didn't need like any weight to balance them Eagles on the Jeep rims, and you know, needed a fair bit to balance these Pirellis on this, you know, probably about, or was, I think the most I used was 100 ounces or 100 grams, whatever 100 grams is. What is that? It's a fair bit, isn't it? Well, it's like 3 ounces, so yeah, okay, so all right, so we're pulled over on the shoulder at National Wildlife Refuge, and we'll just see if we can spin out. Well, she definitely moved forward when I did that. Didn't make anything, didn't, you know, just spin in place like it likes to. So I think our grip is a little bit better. I mean, of course it is, it's off-road tires, but anyway, I digress. I didn't make things worse, and I think I may have made them better. So that could be exciting. All right, well, I forget what my goal was. I think it was bubble balancing tires or something. I don't even remember what the name of this video is, but I mean, my personal goal was to get off-road tires on the truck, and now I have off-road tires on the truck. So now when I spin out on wet grass, it's my fault and not the truck's. But anyway, I digress. It appears that I can, in fact, bubble balance tires. They seem to be running just fine. I mean, time will tell. We'll see how they wear if I start getting really bad cupping. It would also be really interesting to take this into a tire shop if I can find another local reliable tire shop that I can work with, and you know, get them to do a balance and just see how far off I actually am. But I'm not going to do that because that takes time and money, and they're fine right now as they are. But anyway, I digress. I think that's the end of the video. So like the video, comment, tell me if you've got any tips and tricks on how to bubble balance tires, because I don't. I mean, if this doesn't work, I'm throwing balance beads in them. I mean, I think that's the way of the future, is to rough balance them with weights, and then, you know, throw about a half measure of balance beads in there and they'll take care of the rest. Or eat through your rim, one of the two. And yeah, if you want to see more garbage like this, you gotta subscribe, so smash the big gray button down there. Until next time, I'm out.